we're doing a Warrior Shrine. Mortal Kombat 11 is a thing. It happened, and me and Tim both hate it. It sucks. It's both
worst game ever made.
Like, I don't even need to play it. It's really bad. I canceled my pre-order. I'm not even gonna play Shao Kahn anymore.
MKX for life, bro.
I was really, really, really hoping for MKX Part 2.
All right, I can feel them hovering over the dislike button. We love the game, guys. We love the game. It's amazing. Okay.
Listen, you YouTubers. Listen. Tip and I like the game. God damn it. Don't even fucking think about it. Listen, I know what's going on in your YouTube listener head right now. I'm definitely a piss baby. That's true. But I'm not a piss baby about this.
I mean, all babies are piss babies. There's no non-piss babies out there.
Yeah, if a baby's not pissing, the baby's going to die. That's a bad thing.
Biology. You guys see a doctor.
Man, Chronica looks like a baby, though. Is that just me? Does she not look like a baby to you?
She looks like a grown-up 13, or 11 from Stranger Things. That's what she looks like to me, like a grown-up 11.
11? See, 11 even had, like, you could see the hair stubble, like it was shaved. With Chronica, like, just because she has no hair, and Garrus doesn't either. They both hate hair. Like, I wonder I think there's an intentional theme going on with, like, these crazy no-hair tag team. She looks like a baby to me, though. In her outfit, the way it's like a big long gown past her feet, like it also kind of looks like something you'd put a baby in.
This would be a good moment to tell everyone that we're not going to go heavy into our MK11 impression just because we're kind of on the clock today, and we're saving a lot of that for when Evan shows up. So
we're
we do like the game, and so yeah, what's up?
No, go for it.
We have 1,000 things we want to tell you. We won't. All I'm gonna say is a lot of the pop-offs that happened were post-recording because there's so much stuff we just didn't know. Although we're both fairly positive on the game. I don't think that came across, but just wait. We'll get to it. Today we're doing questions. This is a question day just because we don't want to get lost in the backlog, and there's a lot of questions that we can't really address questions when Evan comes on, so we really want to make sure that we cover what we can now. But impressions are coming, and we're gonna reference a lot of stuff as we go through the questions, of course, of what we think. But like, we're getting to that. We'll get there, guys. Just hang in there. We'll definitely get into our impressions of the game hard once we start the Nethercast and once we get Evan on the show.
We will, and that's just gonna be in a couple of days. That's not gonna be long at all.
Yeah, that's gonna be very soon.
And Evan went to the London event, just so you know, and he it sounds like he talked to a good number of people. I know he talked to Derek Kurtz. What's his last name? How do you say that?
I just call him Derek. He's Mr. Derek.
Absolutely. You know the guy. You know Derek from the Kombat casts. Apparently Evan strong-armed him, accosted him for some information. We'll see how that went. I don't know if he talked. Do you know if he talked to Ketchup and or Mustard?
I don't. Actually, I haven't really talked to Evan a whole lot since the event.
It's a mystery, so you guys can find out what this. I think he did. But either way, like, he also got to, obviously play the game and do that kind of shit. So yeah, that episode, we didn't want to, like, I just want to squeeze Evan for shit and talk about shit without having to worry about jumping over here and squeezing these questions too at the same thing. So yeah, like Tim said, we're going to go more into our thoughts then, but I mean, honestly, yeah, we both like the game. I think we really, I know speaking for myself, I really like what I saw. I said it somewhere. I know I had to say it somewhere in that video, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I said it afterwards. So much of what they showed seemed like it was like going down a list of things that I wanted to see and I asked for, but I didn't like I will say I didn't like the show. I like the game. I didn't care that much for how they set up the event, the presentation for us especially. If you were there, it was cool. When the presentation was over, you got to go play the game, and so that wasn't the end of the experience. But for the actual stream, I wasn't that into it.
It was about half and half for me, but...
Well, I mean, like, it really felt like the second half was just Rhonda and Scorpion Collector's Edition. Which isn't really, which isn't hype. I wanted to see Mortal Kombat 11. So,
Yeah, and thankfully we got a lot of that discussion over with on the 100th anniversary. Like, all the stuff I didn't want to talk about, thankfully we've knocked it out. I don't think there's anything I have to address anymore. regarding like for example, I don't really have a lot to say about Rhonda. So we've kind of covered. Obviously, we'll revisit it again once we get more footage. But the stuff I'm really excited about, no breakers. Although there's technically no breakers. There's still a roll up, but fucking flawless block. Just the walking mobility. That's the stuff I'm excited about. That I cannot wait to go really in depth and come out Friday.
Me too. That's what did Ed call it? The geeky stuff. I like how Ed kept blowing it up. It's like the geeky fighting game stuff. I'm looking forward to talking about the geeky fighting game stuff. There's some geeky fighting game shit in here that looks super hype. And there's just some concerns too. But all that shit, well, we'll get to it. Right now, though, fucking questions. What do you guys think about this shit? And keep asking us questions, by the way. We're gonna, there's so many questions. I've got questions. I could ask us questions in the Warrior Shrine thread right now. Because that's kind of what happens when you have a game this interesting and exciting and like, man, there's so much with this meta. I can't wait to talk about. Okay, that's coming up in a couple days. Right now, we're just going to fucking blow through these questions. Let's quit a-doing and a-do it. Okay, we're going to start with Cartoothlo. We got one question. That was pre-event, pre-Mortal Kombat 11 event. And we're going to start with that one. Temp, what were your thoughts on the DOA 6 open beta, and how do you feel about the new mechanics such as Fatal Rush, Break Blow, Break Hold, and the Break Gauge in general? Are you more or less excited about DO6 after playing the beta?
Yes, I really liked the beta. I love the game. There's still some things I don't understand, though. And Tekken backdashes are safe. I felt like I got blown up a lot for backdashing. So there's still a lot I have to learn. For the new mechanics, I'm kind of 50-50 on. The problem with all the new like Fatal Rush stuff is a lot of it's really unsafe. At least with the Ayane, and that's what I used in the beta. So I think the very thing they put in to help the scrubs is going to get the scrubs bodied, because all they're going to do is try to Fatal Rush every time shit goes wrong, and they're going to get blown up by by a high crush, or they're going to get fucking they're going to get a very easy break hold or a break sidestep or whatever that was. They're going to get killed if they try to rely on that. So I don't know who that was for. I don't know why they didn't just make the mechanic more execution heavy so it wouldn't be as predictable in the neutral. But I love the game. Winning feels fantastic. Man, once you get even remotely decent at holds, it's like the most rewarding thing ever. But there's still a lot I have to learn. Thank God Hayate dominated the beta. I see about 80% of my opponents were Hayate, so it was really easy trying to learn normals and strings on the fly. But I think the game's really good. And even though MK11 is sort of the new hotness right now, I really hope people give this game a chance. I mean, there's things I don't like about it, but more on that to come. I think I made a mistake of speaking prematurely on Soul Calibur when a lot of those mechanics ended up not being as big of a problem as I thought they would. I'm actually very pro Reversal Edge. I think that's a good mechanic. I was very wrong about that before, so I had to eat shit on that. I don't want to do that twice. So when the game comes out, more to come for sure, but I loved it, and I hope people who do like it get hyped, because I think it's a good game.
Boom! Hayate was playing it?
Oh, no, not that. No, the character named Hayate on the select screen.
Oh, man, I got half excited for a second. That would have been cool.
No,
it's okay. Hayate is a guest character in DOA 6. That's what it is.
Glasses gear? Fuck
that would be fucking, ooh, that's interesting. When is that going to happen? When is a tourney player going to be a guest in a fighting game? It's going to happen at some point, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying it should. It just feels like one of those things that eventually is going to happen. Somebody is going to, I don't know. Maybe that's not going to happen.
Combat Pack 4, Dark Side Phil?
Wow, Dark Side Phil. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah. I was thinking more like, a Sonic Fox or something. But I wish it was someone more funny.
Well, Sonic Fox would have gear, so that'd be easy. You could gear the hell out of him.
It would be. Like, Sonic Fox is it's like one of their characters anyway. Gear. Okay. Did we wrap up the question?
Yeah, we're good. No, I really liked it, and I really like my characters so far.
Thank you, Cartoothlo. I'm sure
dude.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you again down here in the rest of the questions.
Yeah, thank you for showing love to DOA, because not a lot of other people are gonna, so I appreciate it.
When does that game actually launch, like full launch?
It was February 15th. They moved it up to March 1st, so it got delayed. which is a huge bummer because that I was going to write Resident Evil to DOA to MK11, but now it's not going to be easy.
Oh man, I feel bad for games that are close to like the AOE of MK11.
Well, I had the whole plan out, man. It was going to be okay. Resident Evil January, fucking Julia and Tekken in February, fucking DOA in the second half of February, into March, into the beta. It was going to be perfect. They fucked it all up.
I was checking it out. I got sent the link to Power Ranger fighting game. 1v1 proper. By the way, if my voice starts fucking up, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm worried about my connection tonight. Hopefully it holds. Let's fucking. I'm not gonna start saying that Chronica willing shit. Sorry, not into Chronica that much. Fucking fear the old blood. I'm what was I just talking about? Power Rangers. 1v1. Good wholesome old man fighting game style. But it's coming out in April, and I'm like, dude. Jason David Frank was even in the trailer for it. It's on all the consoles too. I'm like, man, why would any fighting game? It doesn't matter what your deal is, even if you're nothing, even remotely like different demographic wholesale from Mortal Kombat. Like, don't put a fighting game out in April. Like, give yourself a chance.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. I mean, I wouldn't buy it anyway just because I'm not a Power Rangers fan. But like. It's not quite as bad as what Dio or fucking Soul Calibur did with Red Dead Redemption, though that was pretty bad. This is a little better because at least there's a pre-established base for Power Rangers that's much bigger than Soul Calibur. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the game's good. Justin Wong is testing it, so
Power Ranger game
come from that. Oh yes, yeah.
Ooh, Jay Wong.
He's doing a lot of the QA for that game.
Man, that's like even another weird thing. Like Jay Wong didn't tell him, guys, listen, splash damage. MK11, do yourself a favor. Like, it's not even about, like, it doesn't matter if you're a fan of it or not. MK just, it does well. It makes a lot of money. It makes a big splash when it comes out. Just let it kind of, do its thing. Let it shockwave dissipate. And then do yourself a favor.
I would delay it 60 days at least. That's what I would do. I think that would give them a better game probably, and most likely that would just be better for sales overall. That'd be perfect. All the scrubs have finished the story mode and they move on to the next game. So it's
absolutely
perfect.
Then they can jump right into fucking Power Ranger story mode. Dude, there's a pre-order Green Ranger skin that looks pretty sick. I don't know.
I'll talk to Razor about that because I know Razor is a fan, so I look forward to seeing what he says.
I've got no Power Ranger knowledge, like, beyond not very far into the show, like the first few years, but like after like half the main cast peeled off, I had probably already stopped too. So those characters, like, I'm pretty sure there's some of those characters post that in the game. I don't know what the fuck's going on with them. I just want to play, my fucking Tommy and the OG Black Ranger and all that cool shit. I'm into it.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because I'm actually the perfect demographic for Power Rangers because it debuted when I was in the 3rd grade and all my friends were watching it. The only reason I never got into it is because I had 2 older brothers who would make fun of me every time I tried to watch it, so I just fucking gave up. I never got into it.
Those bitches.
I remember when the Green Ranger was revealed. Like, people came to school like, dude, they revealed the Green Ranger. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, he's got a dragon and shit. I'm like, oh, that sounds tight.
It still sounds tight.
We're all losers for watching it, even though I wanted to watch it myself, but I didn't want to get beat up, so yeah.
And then you became an anime fan.
Yeah, no, it's funny how things go full circle.
Did we actually answer your question, or did I go off on a tangent?
Oh, no, we're good, yeah. That was the DOA question.
It was. Man, where the hell am I? I gotta scroll up further. Good lord. Okay. Thank you, Cartuthalo.
Appreciate it, dude.
Long live, DOA needs to fucking do well, and stay away from Mortal Kombat 11, please. Okay, Ragnarok Flames asks, looks like MK11 gear's attributes, leading me to believe they are spitting on competitive again by giving gear stats. 1 step forward and 2 back for NR. And there's some back and forth here. It's not really questions, but it's the same stuff. gear stats on gear is insulting and that sort of idea. And I mean, you get the gist of it.
Well, I think he asked this question a little too early. He asked this on Thursday at 1:50 p.m. They're both in the game, but they're separate. Gear is not going to interact with stats in any way, so this should be a relief for him.
Yeah. The stats and modifiers are like, they're just shit that you equip separately, right? Like they're their own thing. Then you just like,
yeah, they're their own slot with their own with their own separate menu. They have nothing to do with the cosmetics or even the abilities. They're their own thing.
Yeah, which seems better. Hopefully, we'll see. Well, that's something that we're not going to know about really, and like how it works and how it feels until we get there. Like, we don't know if there's fucking mother boxes yet. Like, we'll fucking see. I don't know.
We'll quite literally never know about it because I'll never have to use it because with the tournament mode, like I'll literally never encounter attributes ever. So I'm never going to see it. I'm never going to have to deal with it.
Is tournament mode, isn't that a question down here? Another thing that we'll get to?
Possibly. I don't know. I haven't seen all the questions or any of the questions, honestly. Yeah. I'm just kind of reading them as I go.
I didn't get spoiled either. I think we'll get there though. I think it's because I had another question about that. But right, cool. Thank you, Ragnarok Flames.
The question, man.
Yeah, at the very least, it's not going to be exactly the same as Injustice. It's a different situation, and it's separate. So you can, be like, thanks, but no thanks if you want to, very easily. Okay, yeah. So Armand, who's finally joined us here on the Discord.
Yeah, welcome, dude.
After, fucking eons of hanging out in our YouTube videos. He's not going to comment on our YouTube videos since he's here, so it's just going to be the people calling me a piss baby there.
We'll see. I don't know, maybe.
Which is good. Whatever. Like that, I can just keep it separated and organized, and that's where I'll go for my piss baby material. Armand asks, I want to bring back the Temp Talk segment. We haven't done a Temp Talks in a long time.
Yeah, it's been over a year, I think.
And obviously, Temp is heartbroken about it. Because I'm sure. I mean, I haven't thought about it. I forgot. Like, I literally just forgot that was a thing. But he says he wants to ask the questions every episode. Dude, you're setting yourself up there, Ben. You better deliver. Otherwise, we're gonna call you a bitch. Because you came in too hard, man. Came in too hot. Every episode. Every episode. If you're not here every episode, I'm going to call it out on the show. You're going to get blown up. After MKX, a lot of people started talking about set play. You'd hear, blank character has good set play. What is set play, and how is the term used by the competitive community?
That's a good one, actually. I can only tell you my understanding of it. My understanding of set play is commonly used sequences that tend to be very effective. Like, for example, me, ending my combo into restand EX freeze with Sub-Zero, and then going into a jump punch, back 1-2, and into a frame advantage, and then doing a back 3 reset. Like, that's set play. No, it's basically mix-ups that are pre-programmed in your brain because they work so often, and they're so easy to do. Maybe not easy to do, but just very common successful sequences that you see a lot online. And really, set play, I feel like, is more of a term you see in the Marvel games more than anything. I really feel like that's where I heard it the most. But because Street Fighter V was so shitty, it made its way into Street Fighter V. And now you see that set play a lot there because you will see the highest level Japanese player do 4 Oki throws in a row just because it's so fucking... It's the dumbest coin flip of all time. I actually, for the record, I like Street Fighter V. It has problems, but overall I do really enjoy the game, and I would pick that over Ultra. But I would... And again, my understanding set... This is how I understand set play, but just very common sequences that are associated with characters that tend to be very successful against players who don't know the matchup or just who get blown up by brain dead shit. Like, that's how I understand set play. It's not a bad word, by the way. It's turning into that, but set play, if you know it's going to work, is smart. If it's safe, there's really no reason to at least try the set play. There's no reason to not try the set play if you can get a safe exit out of the situation if it goes wrong. So yeah, that's how I understand it. I don't know if that's your understanding as well, Django.
I didn't really, I wasn't really familiar with this term either. I'm glad that you spelled it out for us there. Um, yeah, that makes sense. I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah. Okay.
To kind
I
of
get you.
address the temp talk thing, we
Okay.
are kind of juggling the ideas of a segment, Armand. Some super secret stuff we're not ready to reveal yet. It's so
Oh god.
secret that
Okay.
not even Django knows about it. Um, yeah,
Damn.
but we've talked a little bit about it. Then I had some ideas, but then I didn't talk to Django again, so I still have to tell him all that stuff.
That's exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah, I have an idea for a segment, but we want to make sure that cake is done baking before we serve it to everyone. So nothing quite yet. But yeah, we can do temp talks. Hey, you can have babalities and friendships. You don't have to pick. We
That's
can
not
do a
what I
little bit of
heard. I heard Tim just say "fuck Temp Talks." We're not doing it ever. He just parried that shit.
both. I will say temp talks are scary because I am so scared you're going to ask me a question. I'm going to have no idea what the answer is.
I know. That's why it's like that's where the tension comes from. The hype. Like we're gonna fucking get you at some point, man. But we're not gonna get you because I forgot. So maybe Armand will get you. Damn. Now I'm excited. I got something to look forward to too. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about with the other segments. Man, that sounds hype.
I am hype, actually. I got some ideas rolling for sure. But yeah.
Good, because we fucking need them. Otherwise, it's the piss baby and temp show. You brought up Street Fighter V. I forgot about that game. I bought Kage in that game. I need to go play him. Boy, man, it's just fucking so much has been going on. I completely forgot about all of that, and like I re-downloaded the game onto my fucking PlayStation, and I bought Kage, and I barely touched him. I gotta go check that out again. Man.
I'm sure that's a lot of people's experience with Kage. Just saying.
Man. Oh man. Listen, you know what? Probably. That was a good question though. That was a good one. Thank you, Aramond.
Yeah, appreciate the question, dude.
Love you. Okay. Psycho6 asks, how do you guys feel about the run mechanic missing? I personally thought it was an upgrade from MK9 and mainstay from here on out. From what I can tell, the game is slow again. MK9 slow. But who needs the run button with Cabal coming to the roster? Yeah, dude. Run is gone. And I did not think it was a mainstay, and I did not think it was going to be here from MKX on out. And personally, like, I'm really glad it's gone. I'm really, really fucking glad it's gone, because that's just not how... That's just not the kind of, like, neutral game that's fun to me. I greatly prefer the Mortal Kombat 9 approach, which is... and it's funny that they've been saying this. I've heard them say it since the MK11 event, that they're stepping back to something that is a little bit more Mortal Kombat 2 inspired. And the same was true of Mortal Kombat 9. Mortal Kombat 9, they said back then, it was built to be like a modernized, like current version of the Mortal Kombat 2 philosophy. And Mortal Kombat 2 is still my favorite MK game, like, you know, overall. Like, I'm not like, I want to go play MK2 over like MK9 or like MK11 or whatever, but like, that's just my favorite for all the reasons, like nostalgia and all that stuff included. But I like the footsie game that's there. I like the pacing. I like being able to walk in and out. I like something about that, and obviously that carries over into Mortal Kombat 9. I greatly prefer that kind of mobility feeling. And I didn't know that I even had that strong of opinion about it. As strong of opinion about it as I do until after MKX came out and sat there for a while. And then getting to work with the iBallistic guys on on the fighting game that we're working on, and it's like, you know, that stuff is like getting to go down the list and ask yourself why you like all these things and why you don't like these things. It's a really fun exercise, and yeah, I'm just. At some point in that process after MKX, it's like, man, I don't even want to go back to MKX. I can't do it. I just don't like this feel. I don't like this setup. I don't like this neutral meta. So I'm glad, honestly, that run is gone, but I can totally understand like someone who really did like it and liked that feel. All of a sudden it's gone. It's like, you just clip my wings or some shit. What do you think, Tim?
I mean, here's where I'm sympathetic. Like, just exactly like you said, I absolutely understand how people could have, labbed run cancels, especially with Hellfire or A-List, and how they could have really gotten familiar with that meta and excelled at it. I can see why they'd be sad it's gone. I'm personally glad it's gone. Mostly because, I mean, I always say Marvel's where I come from, but if we're being fucking real, Street Fighter's where I got good. Street Fighter 4 is where I actually became a competent fighting game player. I come from Marvel. I was not good at Marvel. So the fact that this game reminds me so much of Street Fighter 4 is kind of its own little miracle. And I might be able to play my favorite MK character like Rose or like Yang. That's just insanity to me. But I can see. I mean, Run is fun in certain contexts. I've been lobbying MKX like crazy before the MK11 reveal, and I do think it's fun, but it doesn't make for a good fighting game, in my opinion, because the way they implemented it introduced too many guessing games, and they didn't balance defensive options to deal with Run. And at first, my impression was, okay, well, make defensive options better, but I don't think that would have solved the problem because I don't think it favored the characters equally throughout the cast. What they should have done is what I know I try not to repeat myself in this show, but there's just no way around it here. If they had just gotten rid of stamina, holy shit. If they had just gotten rid of stamina, then yes, you don't have any defensive options, but now everyone can run as much as you want. So it kind of turns into this crazy, almost like Marvel-esque fighting game that would have been really interesting to me. But I think the minute they tied your backdash to your stamina and then tied your run to your stamina, it turned into this cash out mentality that I don't think made for a good meta. Now, I can understand just because run's bad doesn't mean fast-paced fighting games are bad. So I can see why people wouldn't like the fact that you have a walk-based fighter like Street Fighter 4 or even what's another good example? I mean, to me, it reminds me even more of like Super Turbo than does Street Fighter 4 in terms of how it moves. So yeah, I get it, but it's just so much more my style. I think you can make a good game with run in it, and that game technically already exists. It's called King of Fighters. Like, King of Fighters does run perfectly. Not only do you have run, but you have short hops too. So instead of having to do like an unsafe mid-range jump, you can get right into sweep, short hop, and start your offense and get an overhead setup. So like, if you want run done right, KOF does it. Now, if you hate all the KOF characters, I'm sorry. There's not really another alternative, but I'm glad it's gone because I love neutral, I love footsies, and I love mid-range pokes, and it looks like that's kind of what we got.
Yeah, I was surprised as anyone they made the choices they did.
I mean, I was very surprised. I was extreme. This game was everything I wanted, and I just did not think they would give it to me. They did. They gave me all the... They fulfilled almost everything on my wish list. Well, there's two things, but that's fine. I'll live.
Okay. Yeah, no, I felt the same way. Like, it's like, really, you guys are just eating off my plate here. There's a lot of things. Maybe I'll talk about it more on the next one. Maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of shit that's in Mortal Kombat 11 that we had kind of been working with the iBallistic game. But it's just, but that just goes back to the thing of like, this is kind of what I was really wanting. So much of this was shit that I wanted them to do in Mortal Kombat 11, and I never expected them to do it. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna push this shit in our other game, this other game that we're working on, and man, it's really weird how many fucking similar ideas are going. Whatever, I'm not gonna talk about that. But yeah, I'm so surprised they went the direction they did.
I'm not even over it. I'm still kind of digesting.
I am too.
How much we've seen and how much we got in terms of our gameplay request, at least, is kind of crazy. I'm not 100% digesting it yet.
I mean, just like hearing people say, man, these characters feel heavy. Like, that alone was something that I wanted so fucking badly, and I did not expect it to be a thing. I did not expect that to be on the way. And immediately, that's just like, whoa. Really? Whoa. Man, it looks sick. I'm excited. But yeah, I guess that answers the question about as well as we can, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot more to say about it. It's just, unfortunately, if we want to get to all the questions, well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, we're not getting to all the questions. We're probably going to have to wrap up in like 30 minutes, but yeah, there's still a lot. We're just breaking the surface, guys. We're going to get way more in depth on this soon.
And I mean, well, like I said, this is about as good as we can because this is going to evolve. Who knows how this game is going to come out? Walking speed, like if they just change that even a little bit based off player feedback or anything like that, it's going to make a big difference. We won't really know how to judge specifically if we like the run or how MK11 is compared to MKX with run as far as mobility feel until the game comes out. So we're going to be talking about this a lot for a while, I think. But yeah, it's definitely a good question. Last paradox. By the way, thank you. Was it Psycho 6? Yeah, Psycho 6.
Yeah, appreciate the question, dude.
Yeah, really good question. That's a big deal. Last Paradox 2 asks, from what was shown at the MK11 reveal, do you think the game will take the zone-heavy approach like Injustice? Boy, this is the fucking question. This is the question, and this seems like the most controversial thing. I think, and one of the most concerning, if not the most concerning thing to me. But Tip, what do you think about this?
I mean, once people realized that walking was going to be your main form of mobility, I think a lot of people panicked, and with a little bit of cause. But here's why I think people shouldn't worry about this. Every character who doesn't have a good zoning option either has a teleport or they have a forward projecting normal. For example, with Baraka, technically has some decent zoning, but he's primarily known as like a rushdown character, right? So Baraka has forward 4 that can cancel into specials. And it seemed like Tweety was able to make it pretty safe. Sub-Zero has his own forward 4 that runs mid-screen. It's basically Ken's V-skill from Street Fighter V. And that goes, Now that's a little worrisome because I don't know if I love having a normal that has like 35 frame startup, but
yeah, it's kind of nutty.
It covers a lot of ground very quickly. So they thought about this. They clearly thought about this. I mean, they saw Injustice at high level. They knew what people were worried about. I'm not too worried about it. And if I am worried about something, my worry is that like half the cast is going to have a zoning variation. And I don't think variations are supposed to work that way. In my opinion, they're not. They're supposed to give you variety. They're not supposed to cover all strategic bases for one character. If you want to balance your game, at least, that's not how you do it. So I think if the game's done right, there should be 2 or 3 strong zoners, and everyone else should be some sort of a healthy mix or some sort of counter to that. What made Smoke so good in MK9 is that he was an anti-zoner. So he controlled the pace of the match against a lot of very good characters.
Smoke
he did very well on high level. Oh, Smoke is amazing. So, I mean, I would not worry about it yet, just because the normals seem good. There's a lot of there's like Mortal Kombat has always been. There's good mobility in a lot of the specials. Scorpion has like an in your face like grab where he turns all fiery and you see a skeleton. Like it's very fast paced. So your walking is going to be your neutral, but you'll have ways to get in from what I've seen. The only thing that kind of worries me is the turret by Sonya. I'm thinking like, how is Sub-Zero going to deal with that? Because a turret doesn't care about Sub-Zero's forward 4. But we'll see. I mean, I would be very reluctant to believe we're going to have another heavy zoning game after Injustice 2. I think there are answers. I think people are also understating the short hop, too. I think that's going to be very oppressive. So I don't know if I want this to be like a heavy rushdown game. I think maybe a healthy amount of zoning is going to tone down a lot of the offensive options because that short hop is going to be very strong, in my opinion. We'll see, though. What do you got, Tingo?
No, I hope so. I hope that short hop is...
Speaking of KOF, by the way, they completely copy and pasted that from KOF, but yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of borrowing in MK11.
It's great
of mechanics. A lot of borrowing, which is another it's one of the most interesting things to me. Man, there's no shortage of interesting things in MK11. It's just fucking want to sit and study this shit because it's like, huh. I never would have thought they would have fucking done that or gone with that or borrowed that. But, it's definitely, it's an understatement to say it is way too fucking early to judge the meta as far as being like zone heavy and, shit like that. But believe me, I'm like the last person in the world that wants anything remotely like Injustice 2 because fuck, Injustice 2's zoning and whole approach to everything,
it was exhausting at a point. Like it became very.
It wrecked my butt so hard, dude. Because I played Robin. Come on, I was a fucking.
Yeah, you did not play a very Injustice 2 character,
I
unfortunately,
didn't.
but
I was saying in the chat, just like I was the only guy in the game without a gun. Like it was just that game, but boy, give Robin a gun. I hope MK11 is not that, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's going to be that. Hopefully.
well, to the person who's worried that MK11 is going to be an Injustice 2 meta, here I hope what I'm about to say will give you some solace. Okay, like one big difference between Injustice 2 and MK11 is with MK11, a lot of your chains have pushback or are completely safe. So it's not like Injustice 2 where Green Lantern commits to a full chain combo and the opponent blocks it. He's down. He has his pants down. He's fucked. He's not fucked, but now he has to fucking get his pants back up before you body him. That is not this game. There's a lot of safe pressure, a lot of safe strings. When you get in, you can kind of stay in, and like a lot of the new mobility options with the neutral jump setups and the short hop. Like it's not like Injustice where someone walks away. All they have to do is block something that you committed to, and then they can reset the situation. That's gone. So now I'm not saying it can't be a zone heavy game. It's possible they can give like fucking like Sonya's turret a pizza launcher or some shit that's like plus 50 on block. I don't know. Like I can't rule that stuff out, but I don't think it's going to be an Injustice 2 meta. I just don't believe that yet. Not based off what I've seen.
I hope not. And I mean, I have seen a lot of moves that like knock your opponent not full screen, but pretty far away. And like hopefully that is like, part of the thing they're paying attention to, and that won't be again another problem that kind of helps make things more Injustice 2 similar. But again, it's just too early. It's way too early. We'll see.
The game's going to change a lot too, so we
yeah.
Kind of see what unfolds from here.
And Jesus, we're not even talking about meter here. Meter is fucking compared to Injustice 2, like this is a fucking deal. I don't have to walk up and get my face knocked off to get some meter anymore in this game. Boy, that's a whole other topic, but it's related. Yeah, really good question, Last Paradox. I'm keeping my eye on that. Everyone's keeping their eye on that. We'll see. It's too early to panic, though, I think.
Yeah, I appreciate the question, dude. Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I said something. That's not a question. Wait a minute. What are you guys talking about? Well, okay. I mean, Chrome asks, but it's not really asked. He said this thing about fatal blows and whatnot. Is there health is beyond 30%? I'm not sure what like death blows. Like he's here. She's probably gonna say something about it. Was that talking about the run?
What's up?
No, go ahead.
I don't ever truly want to see death blows in a fighting game because I think that's too strong of a comeback mechanic. I think what they're doing now is perfect. I think the once per match rule, if it was once per round, I'd be like, this is just fucking ultras. I don't like this. But when you make it once per match, it's actually a resource that you can lose permanently. So I think that balances out. Maybe not, balance probably isn't the word, but it makes it interesting to me. If it was a free X-ray you got for being at low health, no, I don't like rewarding people for playing badly. You lost your health, well, I don't believe in rewarding you for that. But that's not what's happening here. That's not what's happening at all. So, like Chrome is saying, I would not want a true death blow unless it was very hard to do, like Soul Calibur 4. That kind of had a death blow in it. Technically, ultras are death blows, but they come at such a high, they're so labor intensive. You have to get your opponent so far down in health that they don't even feel like death blows, But they're very strategic though. They're very important in the meta, and breakers also kind of factor in there. So you gotta take that into consideration.
Yeah, man, I agree. I was so happy whenever I heard that fatal blows were once a fight, like the whole match. Like, man, it just would have been such a different thing if it was once per round. That would have been not fun at all. No, I'm glad they made that decision. That was perfect.
It also makes. I don't think anyone's done this before either with like a comeback mechanic, where they're in a 2-round game. You get to use your comeback mechanic. You have to choose which round you use it. I think that's very smart. I've never seen that before.
I was reading what he said over here.
I lost my place because I went to another chat in the Discord. Yeah, what's up?
I did the same thing you did.
I hate it. I hate Discord so much sometimes. Go on.
I mean, yeah, I think that we covered it. Like, boy, was I fucking confused on the day of. Man, you can hear me in that reaction video. I had no idea what the fuck. I was fucking. They put me on tilt hard, dude. I was trying to figure out everything and I was failing.
It was hard to watch and talk at the same time. My
was.
brain was going in like 1,000 RPMs per hour. That doesn't. That's not even that fast.
That's exactly what happened.
That's really slow, actually. 1,000 RPMs a second. We gotta speed this up. By the way, we got so many more questions.
We do.
So.
Let's jump to.
Thanks for the question, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Crump. This tournament mode thing that he put here. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing as in Injustice 2, right?
Maybe I haven't played Injustice 2 in a while.
That's just the mode you go to where, like, you know, you can. Yeah, we talked about this. It's for a tournament, so the TO can set up like no randomized gear, and this stage is banned, and maybe this character is banned, and you can go down like round links or this link. Like, you just go down there and set all those rules up, and it's a competitive versus mode just for offline play. Is what tournament mode is in Injustice 2. And I assume that's what this is.
Well, he provides a suggestion. He says, do you think it means there'll be one tournament standard character or something similar to Tekken 7 where tournament mode bans, pause buttons, stuff like that? I think it might be a mix of both, but I know for a fact they said there's going to be at least 3 tournament variations per character, possibly more. That stuff is not 100% in stone, so I'm very careful to talk about variations right now. We're going to have to eventually, but for now we know there's going to be at least 3 variations per character in tournament mode.
Yeah, I was happy to hear that too. That's good, and hopefully they do expand it some down the road. Moving on to.
Appreciate the question, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Is this if tournament mode forces players not to use restart match bullshit? I want this mode to be permanent, mandatory on tournaments. We've talked about that before. That happens a bunch, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
I think they actually want to get rid of it. I just don't think they know how.
Yeah, like we've talked about it before. I see both sides of it, and I agree with both sides. I get it. I don't know. I don't know what the good solution is. It's tough.
Well, I definitely don't want to take restart match out of the options. I don't think that's the solution, but
no.
Really, the only thing you could do is what people are saying is once the fatality launches, you can't press start anymore. That's a good start. But it's not that's not going to solve the problem, because anytime someone has a significant life lead, the minute they get to 10% health, restart. I mean, we're already seeing that in all the other NRS games. So I don't think this is a problem you can solve. The only way we're going to solve it is if the local regionals enforce it. That's the only way we can do it. Then again, I would, even though I don't like it myself, it would break my heart if a good NRS player got disqualified from his set because he went to restart too early. Even though I think it's a dumb thing to do, that is not worth disqualifying someone. And I don't think anyone's saying that's the way it should be, but I get the problem. I just don't know how to solve it. I don't think there's anything NetherRealm can do to solve it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I agree. Was that Great Kung Lao? I think that was.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. But there's a lot of talk here that is not questions. So big skip down.
Appreciate the question, GKL.
I was explaining how tournament worked. At least in Injustice 2, how that worked for in general to Razor. Sorry, the Razor. I don't see there being a way to turn off randomized gear for towers and shit.
All you can do is be vocal about it now, and hopefully they don't instantiate that again, because that would break my. Hopefully the variations. I was about to say something that I wasn't 100% sure on, so we'll see. I can't see them doing that again, but like I said, we just got to be vocal about it now. Let them know, hey, we want our tournament characters to look the way we want them to look, at least within like a certain perimeter. Like, we get it that we can't do complete custom gear every tournament for every player, but there has to be a middle ground, because random gear often looks so much like not greatness. So, yeah,
I think the way they're doing it does help that a little bit, because like, colors are tied to specific, like, entire skins now, so it's not just like you're swapping out every part, so you can randomize every part, including color, and so you really do get this like jumbled mess of stuff. Things are a lot more like uniform and streamlined, and kind of less open for customization now. with the way they have it set up. But still, that's a thing. If hopefully at the very least it's still an option there in the tournament mode. Boy, okay. Where the fuck was it?
I want to say we're at Sunday at 5:44 a.m.
Sunday,
I didn't see a question in between.
Yes, you're right. Do you think it's fair to complain regarding how enhanced should be done with block button? Yeah, this is a big deal. I think it's wrong since you don't build meter anymore and have it pretty much always with time. You have to pay for such easy resource access by harder execution. How do you feel about that whole issue there?
I feel like the way they're doing it now, it just feels arbitrary to me. It's like, I don't really see the benefit of this change unless certain EX moves are so good, they're going to have an execution barrier. Like, let's say sub, like, if he does his EX move with block, it's one way. But if you do like a just frame EX freeze, he gets a different one. Like in that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool. But that's not what they're doing, though. What they're doing is they just replaced block with an arbitrary command that no one's going to be able to figure out without going to the menus. I don't see the benefit to it. Maybe they know something I don't. But I don't get the change at all so far. He told Maximilian, Ed Boon that is, Ed Boon told Maximilian this is a placeholder input. This could change very easily. But I would really like them to explain why they did this.
I would too. Like that was the exact word that I used, was arbitrary. And
Razor just said what I said. Oh. Go on.
He did. I mean, as you know, this is a big deal that it's going to affect everybody. This is a big deal. This is something everybody should be talking about, even Razor. Yeah, it's arbitrary. I've used that word over and over again for this thing because it is. And for me, like, I can see some people that say, like, you know, it will favor character loyalists and make counter, like, maybe reduce some counter picking shit and whatnot. But honestly, at the end of the day, I'm like, fuck that, dude. I don't want fighting games to discourage new players from playing any more than they already do. And there's already such a big barrier to entry getting into fighting games. Stuff like this that is just incredibly arbitrary.
I just want
incredibly arbitrary. I don't want it. It doesn't need to be there. It's just a thing to make it harder for no good reason necessarily.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't mind putting in the work for something if I get something back for it. That's the whole reason that I am for high execution inputs in fighting games. But you're making me memorize all these extra inputs to get the same fucking exact EX move I would have gotten anyway. So it's just like, it's not fun. You're making me do more work with no payoff. I'm basically, it's like fucking, I don't know. I feel like if there was a benefit to making like EX moves, like if you memorize an input, maybe you get a different version. But that's not, I mean, you have to make it harder. It's not good enough just to be like, oh, if you do up triangle instead of block, you get slightly different properties. Well, now you've made it too easy. Now you gave me the reward for free. All you made me do is memorize something. So, like I said, just if you're not going to, like, if there's not going to be an actual benefit, then just go back to block. I don't see any reason to go otherwise. Just go back to.
I agree. I think this would have been a completely different situation had they kept meter burn moves, EX moves, whatever you want to call them, the way they always are, and then add like some small layer above that for stuff like this that is execution oriented, and it is a little bit something that you're probably not going to see quite as often. When you do, it's really, really good, but you're not taking away any tools, any base tools, because amplified moves, meter burn moves are base tools. You need those things. And those things shouldn't be held hostage by an arbitrary execution barrier. Don't take away stuff that's already there. And part of the base fundamentals, if you want to add something like this, make it another thing on top of that. That's my opinion. But obviously they're not super confident about it either, and we'll see how this evolves. I think it will evolve. I don't know where it'll land, but I don't think it'll stay exactly how it is. We'll see, though. It's another fucking one of the giant mini things to keep an eye on with this game, and I'm really interested to see what happens. Yeah, I guess that does that one as best as we can right now. It's a good question, though.
Yeah, it is a good question.
Thanks.
Definitely appreciate it, man.
Great Kung Lao, sir.
There's a lot of conversation going on here. I want to say we're at Sunday, 1:37 p.m.
Sunday, 137. Yeah. Wait. Armand? Okay, Armand. Yeah. This is for Temp. Temp, do you think Django will finish his Sub-Zero Mythologies LP? Temp?
No.
You son of a bitch.
Well, are you? You're telling me, sir?
Both of you bitches. No, you didn't ask me. My opinion, obviously, is not what matters here. If I was going to offer my opinion...
I think your opinion is the only one that matters here, sir.
I mean, you would think, but obviously Armand disagrees.
Well, Armand wanted an objective third party involved. I think it's smart, but go on.
No, I agree. I see your strat. I'm going to insert my opinion where it does not belong. It was not invited, and say, yes, I'm going to finish the Mythologies playthrough. You don't fucking quit Mythologies halfway through. That's fucking scrub tier. And I've already got a bunch of episodes for it done. There's like, you're in the can. The game's cool. I cheat a lot, but whatever. I don't cheat. The game is jank as hell, so the game like helped. Like, hey, you want to cheat? Here you go. I'm not doing anything weird or like breaking it through hacks or whatever. It's just stupid shit. But yeah, I'm gonna finish Mythologies. Don't you worry. Fucking bitches. Thanks, Armand. Okay.
Thank you for the question, Armand.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I was watching Max's peeps, which after the reveal, one of their biggest concerns are the characters becoming stale quickly due to there aren't many combos to perform. Thoughts? I'm not worried about that in the fucking least. I think that's fucking... No. That's not a concern that I have. What do you think?
I mean, it's really hard to... I'm not going to lie. This is something that I've thought about, but I don't think there's been a single NetherRealm game, with the exception of Injustice 2, and only Injustice 2 because of the legacy gameplay. Almost every NetherRealm game that came out, we did not get to see the combo potential until release date. We just didn't. So no one really optimizes till the game comes out, because the game's different every time. They make a new game every time. So even the exhibition matches, the combos are kind of jank. We really need to see, like, people spend a lot of time with the game. Although normally, like with MKX, like a lot of high-level players didn't really have the same access they're probably going to have now, especially with the beta on the way. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just not sure there aren't that many combos to perform yet. I don't know if Max is even qualified to say that yet. I think what Max really meant is you're not getting like the 20-second juggles anymore. That's gone. And for better or worse, but
it's not, dude. Like, fucking watching Hayate playing Scorpion, dude, those were like, he was doing normal-looking Mortal Kombat combos and Injustice combos. That shit went on forever.
With which character?
Scorpion.
Okay.
And, no, like, that was like 12, 13, 14, 15 hit combos with that dude. No, it just seems to me like, it's fucking more diverse now. Some characters have more combo stuff, but it doesn't look to me like strings are, the bread and butter here in this game. Like, pokes and that neutral and working shit out, like, that's going to determine way more than combo length, I feel, as far as, like, what your success is going to be. And don't even, like, that's not even getting into crushing blows and fatal blows and that meta game that brings. Like, it's just I think the game looks stale as far as combo potential goes if you're looking at it from the prism of traditional Mortal Kombat games, traditional NRS games. But once you start looking at it for the game that it is and not the other games that came before it, I think that this is going to be fine. There's so many other things going on now besides just learn your strings that are going to make a huge difference. Yes.
I mean, I just don't. I don't even know what to say yet. Like, I don't even know.
It's really early too. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, come on.
Let me put it this way: I was watching the high-level video of Ketchup and Mustard playing each other, not the exhibition, their direct footage video, and I was pretty happy with the combos I saw. But those are two characters, though. It really was mostly Scorpion. The subs. It doesn't even really matter if there's not much combo variety. I mean, in Tekken, I have different combos for like counter hits versus punishes, but ultimately, I have one bread butter that I'm always trying to do anyway. As long as the combos are rewarding, as long as they're hard enough to feel like I accomplished something, that's really what matters. And I need to get my hands on the game to know for sure. Like, I agree it is a concern. I am a little worried about it. But we'll just see. I think the execution ceiling is probably my number one worry for this game. I'm afraid it's going to be too low, and that killed Injustice. For me, at least. Maybe not the game itself, but the low execution requirements made Injustice very boring to me. So I'm a little worried, yes, but I'm also very hopeful as well.
I'm really looking forward to seeing people get really good and controlling when and where they do crushing blows and and that shit getting stacked inside of combos. I'm really looking forward to that shit way more than I am.
Here's the best way I can summarize it. In my opinion, this is how a game with good execution means the low-level players and the high-level players are not doing the same stuff. That's the definition of a good execution game in my opinion. I think Tekken does that beautifully. So that's what I want from MK11. I don't, and again, MKX did this very well. You did not see the low-level players doing the same stuff as the high-level players.
No.
Combos were much harder in that game than they were in MK9. And even MK9, like Nightwolf's 40% combo, like that took time. You didn't just do that. That wasn't free. You had to really grind out that combo. So that's that's exactly what I want in MK11. I don't want the low-level players doing the same bread and butters as the high-level players. That's what I want.
It's interesting because, like, it's an option in the fucking controls thing, like whether or not you want to control when you do your crushing blows, if you want that controller or you want it to be auto. So, you know, there's a lot of people that's not even going to fucking go and turn that shit off, and they're just going to play it with auto crushing blows. But if you don't have that on and you control where you do that shit and you stack it where you want, like do like a combo juggle or something that's like 2 crushing blows into a fatal blow, if you have that shit, you know, on deck ready to go, dude, like, you know, it's a whole different video game.
That could be cool. I would hate to lock away high execution behind such strict circumstances. I want to do cool combos all the time. I don't even want the damage. I just want the accomplishment of knowing that I practice and now I can do something that no one else can do outside of like 1 out of every 10 people or so.
Man, it's really...
But it's a start. I like it's a good option, at least. I think the combination of the two would be tight.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how that evolves from players, like in players' hands. That's gonna be interesting. That was a really good
thanks
question.
for the question, Lando Mac. Super appreciative.
Where are we? Adam asks, this is for Tim, can you give a full breakdown of how you would see a flag variation work and all that would encompass it?
Yes,
Please,
I can absolutely do that.
Please.
Part of it everyone already knows because they heard the 100th anniversary, although I need to re-listen to that because I understand that's some sound issues. But first of all, I mean, he can plant up to 3 flags, right? The first flag only takes like 30 frames to put down, right? At full screen, that's kind of safe. He can put up to 3, but the second flag takes about 50 frames. The third flag takes about, I'm going to say like 75 frames, but the flags are big deals, right? So the first flag you already know. Baraka, the opponent can knock down the first flag at any time, as long as no other flags can put up. If they fail to knock it down after 10 game seconds, Baraka gets an unblockable cinematic, and the flag basically summons one of its henchmen, and they poke you in the eye, or they punch you, or they kick you in the balls. They do something. But anyway, if you don't want that unblockable animation, you have to knock down the flag. So it gives Baraka this really interesting strategic game, where he just kind of plays it like this kind of like mid-rangey footsie game, where he just kind of tries to poke you and keep you back to protect his flag. I think it's very interesting. But that's he can only get that setup if he has 1 flag out. The minute he puts on 2 flags, he can't summon that minion anymore. So when he gets the second flag down, he basically gets increased walk speed and damage increase on his specials, not his normals. His chain combo damage is not increased, but he does give a damage boost on any sort of special, Ender especially. Special? It says special a lot. Yeah, and the third flag, it takes like 75 seconds to put down. But that's because it's so good. Once he gets all 3 flags up, the opponent can only knock down the flag if there's 1. If there's 3 flags, they can't knock down any of the flags.
Oh shit!
But that said, the flags only last a round. After the end of the round, he has to reset all those fucking flags. But if he gets 3 flags up, you better win that round because now he unlocks a. I don't want to say a crushing blow because I think he should be able to use it 2 rounds. So it's like a crushing blow, but it's going to be a special. If he does a regular throw to you, he gets 50%.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, don't let him set up his flags. You don't want the 50% throw. It's not a crushing blow because I don't want to limit that once per round. But if he gets all 3 flags up, his throw becomes very powerful. It's kind of like Mika's V skill done right in Street Fighter V. So that's how I would do flag variation. It's very passive in nature, but that's what I wanted. And you can, what I like about flag variation, I'm talking about like it's fucking real or something. What I like about my fake flag variation is that, first of all, you can give it a silly name, and I think that's awesome. But second of all, you can play it many different ways. You might be a one flag guy, or maybe you're like an all-in, like I only do 3 flags, bro. Like, or maybe you just might be like, you know what? All I really want is to play Baraka with better damage and better neutral. So I just want to get 2 flags up so I can get that walk speed, and so I can get that little bit extra damage, so I can play a better Baraka. I'm not trying to go for broke with a 50% command throw. And defending the flag is just not for me. I want to play video games. I don't want to fucking stand in one place in front of a damn flag. Or some people will be like, they'll just be standing in front of that flag like, do it, knock it down, bitch. What? You didn't knock it down? Eat shit. Like, that's kind of what I like about it. So that's my idea for flag variation. That's how I would do it.
I like it a lot. And I like it a lot. I think, and it's funny, just based off of that, I think you're going to like the game that me and the iBallista guys are working on.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. I'm down.
That reminds me of some shit. I think you might like it, Tim. That's cool. I dig that. Okay. You're right. I want that in the game too. That sounds sick.
Spread the word, guys. I can't do this by myself. I need help.
Hashtag flag tier, dude. Man, the flags are hype.
#NoobD.
At #NoobD. At everybody. Thank you, Adam. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it.
I appreciate the question, dude. I'm glad I finally was able to share that, because I've been waiting for that for a long time. So yeah, it's good to get that off my chest.
Man, that's sick. Armand, yes, I'm gonna fucking finish it. God damn it. It's gonna happen. Shred asks, is this for the recording? Yes.
Thank you for the question, Shred.
We fucking got them. We got all of them, dude.
We did. Yeah, good stuff. Right on time as well.
Yeah, that was good. Man, I like that flag question. That flag shit gets me hype.
I do need to say, though, if you do get 3 flags up, you lose all the benefits of second flag. So you lose your walk speed and you lose your damage boost on the specials.
And you also don't have access to your assist either from the first flag, right?
Yeah, no. If you put down the second flag, you lose first flag benefit.
Yeah.
And then blockable is only like 12% damage. It's not a super big deal. Like you may be like, you know what? I'm going to eat the unblockable and just build meter. That's a viable strategy in some matches.
I think that's a really cool idea to have in a fighting game. This thing where, this idea of like real-time preparation for things and setting up strategies and shit like that. I like that idea a lot. And it would be interesting if, that was explored more in a fighting game somewhere down the road. That'd be really cool.
Well, I didn't even get a chance to tell you guys the best part about flag variation.
Well, you better fucking do it. Hurry up. What is it?
At the end of the round, if you still have all 3 flags out, and you will, because if you get 3 flags, they stay out at the end of the round, whether you win or lose, Baraka's caddy comes around and picks up all the flags and takes them to the background. So yeah, that's my favorite part.
Has no effect on gameplay whatsoever.
No, but it's the best part.
Man, that's sick. A fucking Tarkatan with a caddy?
Oh, yeah, no, he's got a beard.
It is a Tarkatan, though.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's not some weird minion he got from somewhere else. Yeah, dude, no, I agree. There's like a billion reasons why I like that idea. That sounds hype as shit. Dude, we got through them all. That was sick.
I'm happy and impressed. I'm glad we got through all those, because now we can kind of breathe for the Evan episode now.
Yeah, and not have to like try to cram in everything. This was a good call. And that's just going to be in a few days. We're going to get that shit, and then listen, we're going to go over all the whatnots. We're going to talk about the cooldowns of everything. Ooh, there's a lot of shit. Man, there's so much shit. It's going to be exciting. But listen, Timp and I like what we're seeing of Mortal Kombat 11. We don't hate it. We're not negative about it. It was very good
at all.
The game looks good.
I really like the game, guys, and I can't wait to talk more about it. We're on the clock tonight. I wish we could say more, but we just can't. So I promise you we're coming back with a lot of positivity. Like I I literally can't tell you how much I like this game because there's no time, but like we love this game so much. Like expect a whole shebang once we get Evan on the show.
Yeah, and it's gonna be fun just because I like a lot of it too, and I'm really curious to hear what the things that Temp is really excited about, if they're the same or they're different stuff than what I am, because there's just so much shit. There's so much shit. They added a lot of new shit with this game. There's a lot of it. Yeah, that's just gonna be in a few days. It's gonna be sick. We're gonna see what Evan was able to squeeze out of Derek and these other London people. I'm glad we got this in. This was a fun quickie. We don't hate Mortal Kombat 11. Shut the fuck up. And yeah, we'll see you in a few days. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
Peace.
No.
What are your thoughts on Django?
Django, your friend told me to say fuck you to you, but I love you. I want you to know this. And it's okay, you're a good person, but don't listen to him ever again.